A big night, particularly with Bogey at the top of the order. And since he's moved to that spot because of some injuries, he's, I think, really come to life. Its on-base percentage has climbed significantly. We're seeing better at-bats, more consistent hard contact. The 3-run homer tonight gave us some breathing room that we needed. But a big night from him. Hanley, good to see the swings that he took, particularly against a guy in Estrada who has shut us down quite a bit throughout the course of the last 2-3 years. But Petey with a couple of base hits tonight, getting on base. But Hanley, Bogey at the top. Mitch, good to see him continue to swing the bat like he's doing. So their offense is potent. We've seen it in this series particularly, but we had enough tonight to get back in the win column.
Can you talk about David Price tonight?
Just sharp, powerful. The 3 appearances he's made for us out of the bullpen, they've been extremely consistent and powerful, a lot of strikes. He's commanding the baseball extremely well. That's really an encouraging sign. And you look at the velocity tonight, the best it's been in the 3 outings. So hopefully he's getting adapted a little bit more to the role. And we can hopefully see some of the performances be similar to tonight going forward.
Now that Porcello's season's over, what do you take away from the season he had, and what does he need to do better as you guys go into the playoffs?
Jason, it comes down to command, and it's been varied throughout the course of this full season. There's been stretches where he's thrown a baseball well, didn't get much to show for it, and there's been games where he pitches up in the strike zone like tonight that we saw. So, he's a command and control guy. And the more consistent command, particularly with the two-seamer and putting the ball on the ground, that's when he's at his best. But tonight, after a rough start to the ball game, he settled down just enough, and the offense covered it, and we were able to get him into later innings tonight.
Rajay hasn't had a ton of opportunities to start. What did you just think of him his night tonight?
Well, he was one of the guys coming into this game that had some performance against Estrada, and it held true to form. Base hit, double to kind of get things going. And I thought even after he hadn't had many at-bats last night against Kohler, he put a good swing on the ball. Just felt like today, or as we got into the series, today was earmarked for him. And he came through in a big way with a couple of base hits and some RBIs.
Kind of goes without saying, but when Hanley swings the way he's capable, what kind of look is that for?
We've said it many times. We're a different team with his presence in the middle of the order. There's history there. There's extra base capability, a proven big league hitter. It's good to see him, with the 2 extra base hits here tonight. So that's a big boost. And hopefully as we're getting some individual momentum after a lengthy road trip, tough first couple of games here on the homestand, you'd like to see that. And that's part of keeping Rick in the ball game is trying to get some momentum going for some individuals without sacrificing a win, which we need.
Knowing that you guys can show up tomorrow and clinch the division, does the excitement start to build a little bit? I know the focus stays on the task, but is there a feeling?
Another step. Tonight's another step towards a main goal, but nothing's taken for granted. I love our as you mentioned, our task mentality, and that is today. We've talked about their characteristics many times, what we've had to come back from, what we've dealt with, and we're still dealing with those individual situations from a health standpoint. So, again, it'll go with how Eduardo controls the game from the mound tomorrow.
With Porcello, last time you took him out earlier, today you left him in. Was there something about the way he was throwing that you decided you wanted more?
The score. And we're looking at a heavily right-handed hitting lineup versus a heavily left-handed hitting lineup in St. Louis, Cincinnati.
Even though you brought Price in with bases empty, but just kind of bring him in the inning there. Is that kind of help him gain comfort to some of the roles he might be used at?
Exactly, and there's been a little bit of a progression here with some of the different situations he's coming into. First couple of times it's clean innings. He would have been in that game for Goins if there was a man on base. So we're getting to that point where we're taking some of the loosening the structure in which he's coming into games.
Xander came up from that slide. He was pretty adamant that he was safe. Do you have a sense with these guys now which ones are telling you the truth and which ones are just kind of hoping that.
They're all competitors. They all think they're safe, and we don't want them to think anything otherwise. But he makes a heck of a slide. That was a tremendous send by Butter, and it was the aggressive nature of the base running. It was a slow roller that if Batista picks up that ball, it might be a different decision. But the fact that Pilar, we feel like he's a heck of a center fielder, but we might be able to take advantage of some arm strength when they're moving side to side. So a great slide, good send. We catch a break there.